お前の道はここで終わりだ。見せてその先の力というもの。ブリーチ、ブレイブソウルズ。
Alright lads, this is your boy the Death Smasher and welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video, and today I am back again with yet another before you summon type of video because we may as well dive on in. We have brand new 1000-year blower characters, specifically Quincy's and Sternriders, that are finally going to be coming, which is awesome. We have not had a batch of Quincy's since 2020 with Lilabato and Gremmy, so it's very good to see that we're getting brand new Quincy's, especially the ones from the anime, because this is from the first invasion where Ichigo fought Ebern and Quilge, and then Bambietta pretty much invading the Soul Society with the rest of the Sternriders. But yeah, that being said, before we go ahead and begin, these characters are limited, so should you guys choose to skip because if you guys do not care, well, you're gonna have to wait for like 4 to 5 months for these characters to make a comeback. So if for whatever reason you happen to need these characters for anything in particular, it's pretty much best to summon on this now while you guys have the chance. And they finally, for the first time, introduced a pity system to the main banners. But that being said, this only applies to the main banners and not the individuals. The individuals, you're still basically summoning for 10 steps. You get a 5-star guaranteed on step 5 and 10, which can either be the featured or the unfeatured, which is, in my opinion, quite bullshit. They still need to work on that. So for now, in my opinion, the main banner is the one you want to summon on if you want to go for all 3, especially since once you get to step 25, you'll get a character summons ticket, which you can choose between Bambietta, Quilge, and Ebern and guarantee one of the 3 characters. This is good, thank God. The horror stories of going 5.5k orbs and not getting the character you want are basically over, but we'll have to wait and see if this does carry over for like every single end of the month banner, mid-month banner, or even rerun banners, as a matter of fact. This is the first time that they are introducing this, so we'll just see how it goes from here on out. But anyways, we have the main banner that is going to be dropping, which is going to be on the 31st and lasts until the 12th. And then we have the individual banners. Quilge is going to be first, and we'll start from the 12th, lasts until the 18th. Bambietta's banner is from the 18th until the 24th, and then Ebern's banner is from the 24th until the 30th. But in any case, I do recommend you guys summon mainly on the main banner rather than the individuals, just because of the simple matter of fact that they are 5% rate, and you don't have as many guaranteed steps of being able to pull the character. And if you just want to go for all 3, then yeah, that's the reason why you should go for it. The individual banners are mainly so if you want to prioritize on that particular character alone and try to get dupes of them, just to 5 out of 5 them. But that's just about it. But besides that, yeah, the main banner has all 1000-year blower characters. Now keep in mind, they don't have resurrections, but they will be getting them in due time. If anything, they'll start from next year. So let's say you do get one of the Quincy's 5/5 from the banner that aren't the main characters, they can prove to be pretty damn good in the future. Case in point with my Zombie Tosher, when I 5/5'd him, he was ass, but now he's actually pretty damn good thanks to his resurrection. But yeah, let's just start it off by breaking down the fillers for the individual banner. Now, Quilge's banner is actually quite decent because you do have 2 powerful characters that you can still make use of in today's meta, especially Ulquiorra for when it comes to the very hard guild quest, which I'm gonna break down in a minute, and of course Grimmjow, who is still a pretty good super pot farmer. Not as crazy as like 1000-year blower anime Uryu or even Safuigin, but still perfectly usable and perfectly fine. And Lilinet, I'm not gonna say anything about this character, like she's just mid. We're just gonna quickly break down Ulquiorra. This guy is a guild quest character. That's the first thing that you guys need to take note of. Right now, you don't really want to use him because you can pretty much sub 1 in Captain GQ. But for the new very hard difficulty, which is going to be dropping soon, I do see NAD characters actually getting some value back again. But besides that, he's pretty good. He's got Flurry +1 with a 60% bruiser, 50% killer effect in guild quest, and 30% range damage in guild quest. Can debuff. That might be useful for like the first waves for the new GQ, but until then it's like I would prefer to have a boost rather than a debuff. But he does have multi-barrier, gives out 5 barriers to himself and 3 to all of your allies, and has weakening on the entire kit, and also has sharpshooter, so you can definitely make great use of him in extreme co-op still, and also has an additional 40% normal attack damage when at full stand, which he can keep up nicely because guess what? He has shields, which is good, and is immune to paralysis. The strong attacks don't really matter, like, for whatever reason, if you guys want to run him hybrid, 18% shave, 800 AoE, full screen SA3, nothing to write home about for when it comes to his strong attacks, but he's a very good normal attacking character all around with the Captain Killer. And then Grimmjow, like I stated before, he is a good super pot farmer and can farm Link Slot potions, great in epic grades as well. I've still yet to dish out my Max Transcendent showcase of this character, which I will in a bit. But besides that, good kit, 3k length beam, Suction Vortex on the SA2, and a Charge SA3. The only issue is that he only has like Frenzy +2, no Berserker, no full stam. Besides that, he's only going to be doing mainly damage once the enemies have been inflicted with a status summon, and he does buff Ronkar's, damage by 20% when the enemies are affected by status summon, and also has damage to weaken enemies of 20% with Guard Break and Weaken Immunity. Good kit, so yeah. And now moving on to Bambietta, she definitely has, in my opinion, the best individual that I have seen out there, which is basically GQ oriented, but besides that, there's definitely a lot of value to pick up from this banner that some characters are worth getting and even worth 5-5ing, like this Mind Lisa, for example. Even this Abidama is pretty damn good, and just like we'll get some value. And then this Sun Sun is a great link for pretty much, making any hard character Link Slot Potion character, but she's also pretty good in Guild Quest. And let's just break down all of these individual characters. Abidama, just like Ulquiorra, he is a GQ character and also has Guard Break, Poise, Star Power +10, so like he's completely protected. No status elements on this kit, but that's because he does extra 100% pure damage against enemies that aren't affected by an ailment, which is gonna make him pretty strong. However, for GQ, because you're gonna be proccing with your status elements on your main characters, he is going to lose that pretty easily, but I don't see it as a problem because this guy still has a very high bruiser. In fact, like, look at it. Flurry +1 with freaking 70% bruiser. Normal attack damage 30 and the bruiser 40 combined. Yeah, you cannot miss that. And he also has 30% extra killer effect outside of Guild Quest and in Guild Quest, 50%. Just like Ulquiorra, 30% melee damage, just like Ulquiorra. And innate abilities, he is immune to paralysis and weakening, Spurn +1, and weaken immunity. Now, if you guys want to run him hybrid, what's this kit again? Lunge, 800 AoE, full screen. Nothing too crazy to write home about, but like perfectly usable. And I do see this guy getting a good increase in value in Guild Quest, besides, not having status summons. And then Sun Sun, she is a Link Slot Potion link, so you can use her just fine in a lot of content for farming, like Epic Raids and Inheritance Zone. But besides that, she's still quite good. Like, she has Frenzy +1, Berserker 40, Havoc of 20%, 30% melee damage in co-op, not in Guild Quest. But besides that, strong attack reaches time of -12%, and also has Guard Break plus hits hidden enemies. And her entire kit minus the SA3 has Burn, and besides that, yeah. She also has an additional 40% strong attack damage when at full stamina, which is good. You can never go wrong with that. Medic and Spurn +1. It is also quite good. 3k length beam with 1020, Vortex into pushback, and then the Charge SA3, which is basically like Bazby, charges all around her. 900 without the charge, 1080 with the charge. You cannot go wrong with this. Like, she's a pretty good character, if you guys ask me. Usable in Guild Quest. You can use her in just about every content besides Inheritance Routes, if you guys ask me. And then Lisa, still great. Just the kit doesn't hold up too crazy good, but she's still quite usable in a lot of content that you can use her, like Berserker 40, Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, increased status summon chance, 80% SP buff, yeah, double status summons. Quincy Killer, not the greatest, but like, she's great for IT still. She's perfectly usable, and she basically plays exactly like the Tech Chojo. And that's just about it for when it comes to breaking down this character. Oh, innate abilities, yeah, Guard Break, damage to lacerate and enemies of +40%, and Sprinter +1, so yeah, still quite good. And then going down to Ebern's banner, it does have the least amount of value, but there is still some usage to be had here because all of these characters are Link Slot Potion characters. But besides that, Ilford is a character that can be used in epic raids. He does have the Aronka Resonance skill, so pair him up with himself and Grimmjow. Yeah, in epic raids, you're definitely looking to do a lot of damage to the point that you can clear faster. Yoruichi Link Slot Potion character, booster for Guild Quest, 800 AoE in front, you cannot go wrong with that. But besides that, in everything else besides Guild Quest and, epic raids, IZ, nothing too crazy. And this Anato is just a premium link slot potion character. He's a bit weak if you guys ask me, but does, you know, have the droplet skill as well. So yeah, that's the individual banners completely broken down, and now we can finally talk about the characters. Now, we don't have the actual characters on Soldex's website. For whatever reason, I'm assuming he's pretty much busy that he can't put them up yet. But we'll just, you know, talk about the characters. And of course, the fillers here, which, by the way, the fillers are all Quincy characters. These characters are bound to get a resurrection, so even though they're ass now, they will actually potentially become better in the future and become a bit more usable, with a couple of exceptions to the list, which I don't see happening. So let's just start off by talking about these three characters. Now, Bambietta, this character was made specifically for Guild Quest, but even outside of Guild Quest, I do think that she is competing among the top 3 technique characters that we have in the game, between Quincy Ichigo and Spirits Are Forever Ruki Toshiro. But besides that, she is the very first character to come with the barrage attack, which is basically what we saw in gameplay. Once you activate it, she will just continue to attack until the gauge has pretty much, you know, all but completely diminished. And yeah, she has a suction vortex on the SA1, and then the SA3 is full screen. Captain Killer. My only disappointment with these 3 characters is that none of them got double killers, which is, in my opinion, quite unfortunate. I wish that these 3 characters could have gotten that, because, like, come on, both Ichigo, Uryu, and Chad got double. Why not these 3 characters, right? They're 1,000 and below characters. It just doesn't make much sense. But yeah, burn on her entire kit. For IT, it's completely fine because we don't have, you know, that many inheritance trials besides one in particular, which is against Quincy mobs, where enemies are immune to burn. So, like, she is, in my opinion, 90% safe for content to use on. And besides that, yeah, full stamina damage boost of 30% from the soul trait, which is pretty good. Havoc of 20%, Sprinter +1, immunity to paralysis, which is great, what you would want to have in Guild Quest. But besides that, look at what she has. Frenzy +2, Bombardment, damage to burning enemies of 40%, weakened defense, Sharpshooter, 80% SP boost, increased status element chance against speed attribute enemies, strong attack reaches time of -12%, and devastation of 60%. Yet another character that has the same similar soul bomb as Safui Mayuri, but happens to be playable, and it's good. It's pretty damn good. Oh, I forgot to mention, the radius on Bambietta's SA2 is basically 900 in front with a 150-degree angle, so very good. Like, honestly, I cannot complain about that. But diving into the actual barrage mechanic, let's just say that your cooldown on that SA2 will not begin until the attack is done or has been cancelled. Some people might not like that because it kind of does slow down the run, especially for when it comes to, I don't know, Limit Break Request, which is a time attack mode where you just want to clear as many stages as possible and you just want to get through to the finish line just like that. But besides that, yeah, this is all you guys really need to know. The barrage attack will continue until it is finished or it is cancelled. And of course, we do have a gauge beneath the character that will indicate when it finishes up. But besides that, it is cancelable by dodging while using the attack. So yeah, the strong attack will not leave you stuck in place, which is good for epic raids. By the way, the strong attack has an 80% mag, so yeah, it is a bit lower, but honestly speaking, because you're doing a lot of attacks with that SA2, I just feel like it's alright. I've got no problems with that. And it's cancelable when you take damage from an enemy, which is pretty much unlikely to happen in co-op because you're just already damaging the enemy mobs. And once they start attacking, yeah, you don't have to worry about that unless the enemies have poise, which is pretty much shown in Limit Break Request and Point Event. And of course, if you get knocked back by Last Ditch, Auto Revive, or an enemy, which pretty much works in epic raids and of course arena mainly, and of course if you get inflicted by a status element like freeze, paralysis, slow, or laceration. And then yo, Caleb, you guys suck at wording stuff. I'm sorry, because it's when a member moves between maps in the quest, that's when it gets canceled out. But yeah, besides that, I think that the strong attack is fine. A lot of people may not actually like this, but I'm perfectly fine with how it has been structured and designed. I do think that it's going to be a pretty good strong attack, and I do see it being very good in Guild Quest. Like, being able to attack like that, it's good. Besides, soul bombs are going to get quite the nerf here, so there's that to take into consideration. Now, if you guys do not have the likes of Safui Toshiro or Quincy Ichigo, in my opinion, this is definitely a great character to pick up. You cannot go wrong with this unit whatsoever, and she is a must-have for the ranged Captain GQ rotation, especially for when very hard kicks in, and she's a better nuker than the likes of 1000-Year Blower Retsu, but she's still good. So like if you have her 5/5, hey, look at it this way, you have yourself a very good Captain Killer for ranged and a very good Captain Killer for melee. Now moving on to Quilge, this guy only has Drain, and this is where I'm gonna be a bit skeptical about this unit, but my mind can actually change once this character drops and I see how well he does, because basically, let me just sum it up real quickly. This is basically 1000-Year Blower Retsu all over again. That's the best way to describe it. He does have a Ronker Killer. So, yeah, besides that, let's just take a look at everything else that he has. Strong attack reach time of -14%. Has Guard Break, Freeze Immunity, and Sprinter +1. No, Marauder Sharpshooter. He's melee, right? Yeah, he's melee. So, no Marauder. But besides that, look at what he has. Frenzy +2, Havoc of 20%, Devastation 40, damage to drained enemies of +40%, full stamina damage boost of 20%, 80% SP boost, Rampage, and then to top it off, he even has the Heart Attribute Strong Attack Reaches of 20%. Basically the same skill as Quincy, Ichigo, and Macy. When moving in between quest areas, your strong attack cooldowns will be reduced. So yeah, this is a limit breaker quest king for Heart. And just the fact alone that he has Rampage, it's just so easy to build up and being able to do 100% damage. It's just so good. Like, I love Quilge's set of skills. They do not disappoint. My only disappointment is, again, no double killers, but in this case, he only picked up Drain. Now for IT, he is going to struggle for when it comes to enemy mobs that are immune to Drain. But co-op IT is bugged to the point that you can proc the 80% SP boost. So if you are able to kill fast enough to get to the Rampage skill built up at 100%, I do think that you'll be just fine. It's just, I'm a bit skeptical about this character. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how he's gonna perform for those type of quest areas, but I do consider this character to be like top 3 best Heart units in the game. So like easily great. If you do not have 1000-Year Blower Anime Ichigo, this is the better character to get as a whole, if you guys ask me, despite not having Marauder. And with that, I can safely say that 6th Anniversary Aizen is moving down to number 4 of the top 10 Heart characters that we have in the game, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. But yeah. Oh, the kit, yeah, he plays exactly like 6th Anniversary Aizen. 3K length beam with 1020 width, 960 into Homing Vortex, and then a full screen 1200 radius SA3. Great kit, no complaints. He's definitely damn good. Again, my minor complaints is, you know, not having double killers and only having Drain. Like, in the case of Unohana, having only weakening worked because there are no quests where enemies are immune to weakening. As for Quilge's case, that cannot be said because enemies are immune to Drain in just about like 30% of the inheritance draws, and we get like once a month. Now, Ebern, I do feel like he is the weaker character of the banner, but he is actually quite good. Don't get me wrong. Like, he is basically Technique Chojo all over again with his kit and his skills, but does, in my opinion, have a better SA1. He has the 40% shave attack, so the same shave like Swimsuit Ruruka, the Power Bruno, those kind of characters right here. And yeah, he is, in my opinion, quite good. Like 40% shave, Suction Vortex on the SA2, full screen SA3. So yeah, at least they gave him a pretty good SA1, because if they gave him the 18% shave, I think that this character would have been a fumble in this kind of case, because Human Killer, it makes no sense, because Ebern fought a Soul Reaper, not a human. What? That makes no goddamn sense, bro. That's kind of not the greatest for PvE content, but for GQ, it's gonna have a use, because this guy is buffing Yamamoto's Soul Bomb. Like, as if his Soul Bomb weren't cracked enough as is, this guy will help him buff it out even more, because guess what? Team Party Power Attribute Character Special Move damage of 30%, which is actually crazy. But yeah, besides that, look, he has the same exact set of skills as Chojo, minus the 40% damage to status element affected enemies when buffing, in this case, Quincy's. So yeah, because Quilge is a because Ebern is a Quincy and not, you know, a Soul Reaper, he is not giving out 40% damage, but honestly, that's completely fine. Just having the Soul Bomb buff is good enough in and of its own. So yeah, he is also a farmer and a link at that, so you can make any power character a link slot potion farmer for technique pots, which is great. I like that. Guard Break plus hit hidden enemies and Havoc of 20%, Berserker 40, does keep the cooldown reduction, which is good. Damage to lacerated enemies of plus 60%, and has basically the same thing as like, you know, Chojuro being, you know, droplets plus 10, and also has the 30% increased drop, so pretty good for, you know, droplet zone. But besides that, for whatever reason, they gave him coin drop of 70% and crystal jewel drop of 50%, which is quite unfortunate. He did not even pick up increased status element chance, but they just made this character our farmer, and you know, screw it. If they make characters farmers, I don't mind it, but I don't want it to be as 1000-year bulwark characters, if I'm being 100% honest. But yeah, all three of the characters are good, are must picks, but if you guys get between Quilge and Bambietta, that's pretty much what you guys want to go for. But if you guys are Ebern fans, for whatever reason, this character is not a bad pickup. And now let's just go ahead and quickly break down all these 1000-year bulwark fillers. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty fed up with seeing Misaki in almost every time a new 1000-year bulwark banner comes out, because like, come on, she was in when Yamamoto, Yuha, and Aizen arrived. She returned once we got the new Ratsu, Yamamoto, and Chojuro, and she returns again for these new Quincy's. Like, come on, can we not get Daddy Ichigo or Mami Rukia? I'm so sick of seeing this character in banners. But like, besides that, just another Nad character, which is still quite good. She holds up quite nicely, even though she doesn't have status elements. But besides that, Flurry with 80% Bruiser, Enhancer, also can give out barriers, has hit underground enemies, and Sperm plus 1 is immune to freeze. Still quite a nicely aged normal tech character, and she can be pretty good once she gets her resurrection. All she really needs to pick up is Booster in this case, so that way she can buff characters even further from 33% to 43%, and of course, you know, give her 50% pure damage from the skills, or even the soul trait for that matter of fact. Even like normal tag damage 20% when it full stam, just to make it like the 1000-year blower so iPhone would actually be fantastic. Like, this character is potentially going to get a very good resurrection. But if you guys care about the strong attacks, if you guys want to run her as a hybrid character for whatever reason, 18% shave, 800 AoE, and the SA3 is full screen. Nothing too crazy to write home about for when it comes to the strong attacks, but normal attacking wise, still good. Basby is a character that is potentially going to become really good once he gets a resurrection, but besides that, he is outdated right now because he doesn't have that much going on for him, besides having Frenzy plus 1, Havoc of 20%, increased status element chance against power attribute Oronkers, and Berserker 20%. He is still usable in Inheritance Trials, especially the Oronker one, and he does play exactly like 5th Anniversary Ichigo, where he has the lunge on the SA1, 960 in front, and then has the same SA3 as the Manners Sun Sun. So yeah, pretty good kit. If they give this character more Berserker, or like, I don't know, damage to burning enemies via the innate abilities, and potentially change this to power attribute enemies or anything like that, or 50% SP buff, you guys are potentially going to be looking at a very solid character to use, but right now he's a bit outdated if you ask me. Jugram, he's just a PvP character, not much to go on about him. In PvE, he sucks. He doesn't have guard break, and he only has Bruiser of 20% with the invincibility skill. He was the very first ever character to come with it, but with his resurrection, he could make a comeback in PvP as long as they buff the Bruiser from 20% to 50% and give him Ignore Brave Battle invincibility, with the soul trait having normal tag damage of 16%. He is looking to pretty much make a comeback, but for PvE, he sucks. He needs a remake. This 1000-year blower Uryu does have a very nice set of skills, but the kit was kind of fumbled on because he does have the old 40% shave, the one that sends enemy mobs back to Kingdom Come, and then the Vortex into pushback attack, not the greatest without status elements, and a full screen SA3 that is 1200 radius. This guy can become better. He just needs 50% pure damage, and I think it's going to be quite solid. But besides that, he's not really the greatest. He sucks in IT. You can make a case for like epic grades, but I feel like he's going to suck, honestly speaking. Candace, another character that is potentially going to become better upon resurrection because she was really good. She plays exactly like Basby, but has a full screen SA3. But besides that, Berserker 20, Frenzy plus 1, Havoc of 20%, Spurn plus 2, and weakened defense with paralysis on the entire kit. If she picks up, like, I don't know, the same stuff as the Zombie Toshiro, she can become very good upon resurrection. But we'll just have to wait and see for that. And then Askin, on the other hand, same case as Jugram. He's just a PvP character. He can make a return if they decide to do him right, because look at what he has. Flurry plus 1, Bruiser 30%, immune to paralysis and poison. You can't really make much use out of that now with all these characters that have different status elements. Spurn plus 1 and Star Parry plus 10. All this character really needs is a buff and bruiser, just like Drewgram, same buff and soul trait, just like Drewgram, and just give him ignore Brave Battle invincibility, just so that way he can actually stand a chance against the likes of Yamamoto in this kind of case, especially just to also get the debuff to work, because debuff actually works out nicely in PvP compared to guild classes. And that's just about it. Are you guys gonna summon on this banner? If so, let me know in the comment section below. I personally am gonna summon mainly on the main banner, and then I'll just see how to go about it from there. There are some characters I could use, so screw it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and yeah, that is all. Hope to see you guys all in the next one, so yeah. Peace out, lads. Bye. Sayonara.